Engines thunder and sparks fly as steel giants take shape. Inside a secret German factory, the MAN HX81, a massive armored truck, emerges, ready for war. This is the MAN plant tour the world rarely sees. The process begins with raw power, with trainloads of heavy steel arriving at the MAN plant. Their thickness alone dwarfs the frames of civilian trucks. Also, this isn't ordinary material. It's certified armor-grade steel, engineered to stop ballistic fire and survive battlefield blasts. On the production floor, it's all about accuracy. Laser cutters and CNC machines carve through steel with millimeter precision, slicing through metal that would rip apart normal heavy-duty tools. And each plate is measured, marked, and cut with the same precision. For armored trucks like the HX81, a single miscalculation could mean catastrophic failure in combat. Then the steel takes shape. Massive hydraulic presses, towering machines capable of exerting thousands of tons of pressure, bend the cut plates into the cab and chassis components. Robotic arms align the sections with a hum echoing on the factory floor. That rhythm seems like part science and part spectacle. Piece by piece, a skeleton of protection is born. These flat slabs of unforgiving steel give the first outlines of the armored cab, the reinforced chassis, and the protective shell that will one day carry soldiers through battle. With the steel skeleton complete, now fire and fusion transform it into a rolling fortress on wheels. The HX81's protection doesn't come from thickness alone. It comes from how the armor is fused. In this hall, robotic and manual welders work side by side, locking hundreds of panels into one seamless structure. Each spark is deliberate, each line of weld calculated for strength under extreme conditions. The armored cap takes shape like a vault on wheels. Overlapping seams are not an accident. They're engineered to deflect blasts, channeling shock waves away from occupants. Reinforced joints are triple-layered, designed to withstand the concussive force of roadside IEDs that would shred civilian vehicles instantly. Every weld is tested, inspected, and verified. Now deep beneath the surface, ultrasonic scanners probe to identify hidden cracks invisible to the human eye. X-ray machines pass across the cab's joints, ensuring that not one single weak point exists. Failure here is not an option. On the battlefield, one flaw could mean lives lost. As the panels lock into place, the cabs strengthen. It becomes a fortress or a survival chamber engineered for war. What began as raw metal is now welded into something far greater: unyielding, unbreakable protection. But armor and welds alone mean absolutely nothing if time and weather eat steel. Inside the next hall, the freshly welded shell is hoisted into massive chemical baths. Entire trucks are submerged, their surfaces coated in anti-corrosion compounds that creep into every seam and joint. There is zero tolerance for rust in armor meant to save lives. Once sealed, the shell moves to the paint line. These robotic arms are calibrated to spray layers of very special matte camouflage. These paints are not chosen for appearance alone. They scatter radar signatures, absorb light instead of reflecting it, and resist chemical agents that could otherwise cling to the surface. Every coat is designed for battlefield survival. The process ends in enormous curing ovens. Under extreme heat, the paint bonds into a hardened shell, which is resistant to scratches, chips, and even blistering under desert sun or Arctic frost. And when the cab does emerge, the difference is just striking. I mean, from raw steel to this ghost in green, brown, or desert sand. Initially exposed metal, now has a skin engineered for stealth and endurance. To the outside eye, it looks like camouflage. In reality, it's another layer of defense, one that turns the HX81 into a moving fortress hidden in plain sight. Steel and camouflage mean nothing without the heart to move 70 tons. The HX81's true strength lies beneath its armored skin. At the core sits MAN's massive 8x8 chassis, designed not for speed, but for raw, unrelenting torque. Into this frame, engineers lower a 680 horsepower diesel engine, built to drag full 70-ton Leopard 2 tanks across mud, sand, and broken asphalt without faltering. Every component is engineered for punishment. Huge axles slot into place, axles that are built to bear immense loads without bending all that in combat conditions. Heavy-duty gearboxes, some larger than car engines themselves, are bolted down with precision. Run-flat tires, taller than a man, are fitted, each capable of rolling even when shredded by shrapnel or gunfire. On the dyno, the engine roars to life. Gauges spike, torque curves climb, and the sound of raw mechanical force fills the hall. This isn't speed, it's unstoppable momentum, tuned to haul armor through terrain where ordinary trucks would sink or stall. When drivetrain and engines lock together, the HX81 ceases to be a mere truck. It becomes the muscle of armored warfare, or a power plant on wheels engineered not for convenience, if you will, only for brute survival under battlefield demands. All this strength is useless in fragments. Their union decides true survival. The HX81 reaches its defining moment. Overhead cranes slowly lowering the armored cab onto the waiting chassis. The alignment is exact, down to millimeters. This is where protection meets propulsion. Bolts the size of a man hand-lock cabin to frame, creating a single unit designed to survive the worst. Next comes the cab's defenses. First up, bulletproof glass, obviously. Each panel weighing more than an entire car door. They're aligned with a heavy thunk, with their hinges engineered to resist breaching charges. Beneath the crew, blast-resistant floor panels are bolted in, designed to shield against landmines and IEDs that would obliterate civilian vehicles in an instant. Inside the space takes shape as a combat cockpit. Rugged military consoles slot into place, hardened against shock and electromagnetic interference. Climate control units ensure crews endure searing deserts or frozen tundra. Secure communications are wired in, allowing constant link with command even under jamming or bombardment. As technicians seal the final panels, the HX81 ceases to be just parts and steel. It becomes a fortress on wheels where power, armor, and human survival finally converge into one war-ready machine. Finally, a war machine earns its name only when tested against destruction itself. The HX81 is no showroom giant. It must prove itself in brutal trials. Every vehicle is sealed inside leak chambers, sprayed from every angle, ensuring no water, sand, or chemical agents can breach its defenses. Even a pinhole leak could mean disaster in the field. Next, it's chained to dynamometers, its wheels spinning against merciless resistance. The engine groans, brakes glow red, and technicians watch gauges climb toward the limits of safety. Hours of mechanical punishment simulate years of battlefield service, exposing flaws before they ever reach a soldier. The true test comes outside, at the proving grounds. The HX81 is driven into pits of liquid mud, swallowing its wheels to the hubs. It hauls Leopard 2 tanks up steep inclines slick with rain, grinding forward where ordinary trucks would choke. It fords rivers, water surging over its massive tires, yet keeps moving with relentless torque. Each obstacle is a question. Can this fortress on wheels survive? Every roar of the engine, every successful climb, every unstoppable pull answers with certainty. After all that, you can be sure the HX81 doesn't just endure the battlefield, it dominates it.